Before we start, please make sure to like this video and hit this subscribe button, so you never miss a story like this. And also comments where you are watching from, how many sons and daughters you have. Thanks. My name is Emily Carter, and if you had walked past our house on that night, you would have heard it. The sound of glass shattering, chairs scraping, and someone screaming for help. That someone was me. "Don't you dare walk away from me again, Emily," he roared, the veins in his neck bulging like they were trying to escape his skin. His face twisted into something inhuman, like rage had melted every last drop of charm he once used to fool the world. I backed up, hands trembling, nearly tripping over the ottoman. "I said I was done talking, Jason. You don't get to decide what I wear, who I see, what I post. And you don't get to make me look like a fool in front of my clients," he bellowed, slamming his fist into the wall. The drywall cracked. I flinched so hard my back hit the edge of the counter. That was the moment I knew something was really, deeply broken inside him. This wasn't just another fight. This wasn't stress. This wasn't pressure. This was something else. Something darker. He lunged at me. Not with a slap or a punch, not yet. But with his favorite weapon, control. "You think you're somebody now? Just because you posted a picture without me in it? Because you went out with your sister?" he hissed, grabbing my phone and hurling it across the room. It smashed against the wall like my last shred of peace. "Jason, stop!" I shouted, tears already slipping down my cheeks. "This isn't normal. You're not okay." But the thing is, he never was. He just wore the mask better back then. He came in close enough to smell the expensive bourbon on his breath. "You should be grateful. Any woman would kill to be in your position. I give you everything. I made you. Without me, you're nothing." My breathing hitched. Something inside me cracked. Because deep down, some part of me, the part he'd spent years breaking, still believed him. Still believed that I was just a scared, broke waitress when he found me. Still believed that marrying Jason Carter, the high-powered real estate mogul, the man everyone called a dream husband, was the best thing that had ever happened to me. Until I saw the look in his eyes that night. That wasn't love. That wasn't passion. That was ownership. "I'm going to ask you one last time," he growled, "did you talk to Melissa?" Melissa. His ex. The one who mysteriously disappeared 2 months before I met him. The one everyone said moved abroad without saying goodbye. My mouth went dry. No, I lied. Because if he knew what she told me, if he even suspected I'd found her, I wouldn't be here to tell you this story. "You're lying," he said coldly. "I can tell. I know when you lie." He grabbed my wrist so hard I thought the bone would snap. "Say it again. Look me in the eye and say you didn't talk to her." My vision blurred. The pain was sharp, real, grounding, but my fear was louder. "I didn't," I gasped. He released me like I'd burned him. His lips curled into a cruel smile. "Good, because if you ever go behind my back again." He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. That was Jason's game. He never left bruises on the skin, only on the soul. That night, I locked the bathroom door and sank to the cold tile floor, whispering the words that I once swore I'd never say out loud. "He's going to kill me one day." Everyone thought I was lucky. They saw the matching watches, the sleek cars, the dinners at 5-star restaurants. They saw Instagram captions about forever and husband goals. What they didn't see was what he did when the lights went out. What he whispered in the dark. What he threatened when the cameras were off. They didn't see the night I almost bled from a picture frame he threw. They didn't see the passwords he changed, the friends he cut off, the bank account he froze. They didn't see how carefully he isolated me, until I was just a shell, an accessory. But that night, the night he brought up Melissa, something in me woke up. Because she didn't move abroad. She didn't ghost everyone. She didn't leave her dog, her job, her mother behind. She disappeared. And now I knew why. And I knew something else, too. I was next. So I did the only thing I could. I waited for him to fall asleep. And I ran. No shoes. No phone. Just a flash drive in my bra, the one Melissa gave me, and the voice in my head screaming. Run. Now. Run before he wakes up. I didn't know where I was going yet. But I knew one thing. I wasn't just going to survive Jason Carter. I was going to end him. And when I did, the whole world would finally know the truth. He wasn't a perfect husband. He was a psychopath. And I wasn't the first woman he tried to erase. But I was going to be the last. I didn't even grab a coat. The night air slapped my skin like punishment for every second I stayed too long. My feet hit the pavement, bare, blistering, and bleeding by the third block, but I kept going. I didn't dare stop. Not until I saw headlights that didn't belong to him. I ducked behind a hedge outside someone's yard, trying to muffle my breaths, heart thudding in my ears like a war drum. Every shadow looked like him. Every tire screech made me flinch. You don't know fear until you've loved a man who wants to own you. I found an unlocked side gate and hid in a stranger's backyard for 2 hours. Curled up in a corner behind a recycling bin like some terrified animal. I couldn't cry. Couldn't even think. All I could hear were his words playing on a loop in my head. Without me, you're nothing. Funny thing is, I believed that once. I believed that when he handed me the keys to our penthouse. When he took me off the waitressing job. When he said, I'll take care of you now. But take care of you started turning into monitor you, control you, erase you. By the time the sun came up, I'd made it to the Greyhound station. I used the $20 bill I had stuffed in my bra, hidden behind the flash drive, and begged the clerk for a ticket anywhere he wouldn't think to look. Small town. Quiet. No connections. No credit card required, I said, voice cracking. The woman behind the counter just looked at me. Looked at the bruises forming on my wrist. The way my knees were scraped, my hair wild. She didn't say anything. She just handed me a one-way ticket to Fairburn, Ohio. Population, 5,000. The kind of town where you can disappear. And for the first time I needed to. The motel was a roach trap, but it had a lock. I double-checked it 7 times that first night. Slept with a chair against the door. Phone off. Curtains closed. I didn't sleep. I watched the flash drive Melissa had given me. The one she slipped into my hand in a coffee shop 2 towns over 3 weeks ago. The one she made me swear I'd only open if things ever got bad. They'd gotten worse than bad. They'd gotten Jason. The folder had videos. Dozens. Secret phone recordings. Photos of bruises. A journal she'd typed and timestamped. Every entry more chilling than the last. Entry 12, he broke the mirror and said it was my fault. I told him I'd leave. He laughed and asked where I thought I could go. He said, no one leaves me. You either die here or disappear quietly. God. She wasn't crazy. She wasn't dramatic. She was me, just a few years earlier. And she had vanished. The last video was from her dashcam. She was driving. Crying. Talking to someone on speakerphone, maybe her sister? Her hands kept shaking on the wheel. Then a black SUV pulled up behind her. Brights on. Following too close. She whispered, he found me. The footage cut there. That was the night she went missing. And suddenly I wasn't just scared anymore. I was angry. It took me 2 weeks to find a job under the table. Just enough to eat and pay for the motel. My identity? Hidden. My social media? Deleted. I even cut my hair. But the drive in me, to bring him down, it only got louder. I spent nights piecing together everything on the flash drive. Mapping out timelines. building a story out of every message, every threat, every scrap Melissa had left behind. And slowly, I found the others. 3 women. Different cities. Same story. Same man. He dated one back in 2012. She filed a report, then withdrew it 3 days later. Emotional breakdown, the record said. Another woman vanished from San Diego in 2015. No known boyfriend listed. But in one photo, in the background? Jason. Always Jason. I printed everything. Filed it. Hid it in different places. Because if he ever found me again, I'd need proof, or no one would believe me. Everyone still thought he was a prince. Real estate shark, motivational speaker, TED Talk charm. He had the public in the palm of his hand. And I had torn jeans and a burner phone. But I had one more thing too. The truth. And now I knew why he freaked out the night I mentioned Melissa. Because she was the only one who got away long enough to warn me. He didn't want her voice out there. He wanted her erased. Just like he tried to do to me. 2 more weeks passed. Then the text came. Not from Jason, he didn't have my number. It was from a blocked account with one line. He knows where you are. I froze. I stared at the motel window, waiting to see headlights. Waiting to hear his voice again. Waiting to die. But he didn't come. Not yet. Instead, someone else did. His name was Ben. I didn't trust him at first. I mean, would you? He showed up at the diner one night, just before close. He looked out of place, clean button down, smooth voice, the kind of eyes that had seen things but didn't talk about them. He ordered coffee. Black. Watched me the entire time I poured it. Then, he said one sentence that made my hands go cold. You're not the first woman he's hunted. I dropped the cup. It shattered like my nerves, loud, messy, too real. I grabbed the edge of the counter to steady myself. Excuse me? I asked, trying to play it off like I hadn't heard right. Like I wasn't terrified that he meant Jason. Ben didn't blink. He just placed a manila envelope on the counter and slid it toward me. Inside were photos. Names. Dates. Women. Just like me. Some with black eyes. Some with restraining orders. One with a death certificate. He buries them with charm, Ben said. But I dig up what's underneath. I used to be a cop. Got too close to a case involving him. My badge didn't survive. But I did. I didn't say anything. I just looked at the woman in the first photo. Melissa. Smiling. Prettier than I remembered. Her eyes full of life. This is Melissa Taylor, I whispered. Ben nodded. She came to me before she vanished. You were her backup plan. She trusted you. Said if she didn't make it, you'd know what to do. My throat closed. No one had ever put that kind of faith in me before. Especially not someone as smart and scared and strong as Melissa. I wasn't brave. I was hiding. Cowardly. Always flinching at shadows and sleeping with scissors under my pillow. She was going to testify, he added. She had the evidence. Enough to at least get him arrested. But before she could go public, she disappeared. I have a copy of that evidence, I said. His eyes lit up like a fuse had just been struck. We met that night in the back of the motel laundry room. I showed him the flash drive. He showed me his files. Together, we built a case stronger than either of us could alone. Do you know why the system doesn't stop men like him? Ben asked. Because they wear suits? I answered. He chuckled darkly. Because they're not sloppy. Jason's a psychopath, but he's patient. Clean. Strategic. He doesn't hit with his fists. He hits with silence, manipulation, isolation. Bruises fade. But gaslighting? That sticks. He was right. Jason never screamed. He smiled when he punished me. He'd kiss my forehead after calling me worthless. Leave roses when I cried myself to sleep. That was his favorite game, make me question myself until I didn't even know what was real anymore. Ben had a plan. If we go to the police now, they'll smile and nod, and ask for hard proof he laid a hand on you recently. Without it, we'll be dismissed. I already knew that story. Hell, I lived that story. He leaned closer. But if we make him feel untouchable, give him a reason to stalk again, slip up again, we can catch it in real time. Build a timeline. Force them to act. You want to bait him? I asked, horrified. I want to stop him. I looked at the photo of Melissa one more time. Her face. Her hope. She'd tried to stop him alone. I wouldn't make that mistake again. We set the trap in stages. First, I started posting again, carefully curated photos that made it look like I was thriving. Smiling selfies. A new town in the background. Nothing direct. Just enough for him to think I'd dropped my guard. Second, I reactivated an old email account. Sent a message. I forgive you. We both made mistakes. No name. No address. No threats. Just a breadcrumb. Enough to bait the predator. Ben and I set up surveillance, not just in my motel, but online. We flagged keywords. Tracked burner IPs. Had backup phones ready. I wore a hidden camera every shift at the diner. It was only a matter of time. And just 4 days later, he took the bait. It started with flowers. Black roses. Delivered to the diner with a note that read, "So glad you're back. I missed our talks." My knees almost gave out. The manager thought it was romantic. Ben and I knew it was a warning. The next day, someone tried to check into my motel room, claiming they were my husband. The clerk denied it. Said I wasn't married. So the man laughed and left. Left behind a $100 tip. And a silver lighter with Jason's initials. But what he didn't know. Every move he made, we were documenting. The motel had cameras. The florist had receipts. The IP address that pinged my email? Ben traced it back to a shell company Jason owned. The same one listed on Melissa's lease before she vanished. The case was finally taking shape. But then things escalated. Someone broke into Ben's car. His files were gone. His backup drive smashed. They didn't take his wallet or keys. Just the case. We weren't chasing a narcissist anymore. We were dealing with a hunter who knew we were coming. And yet, I didn't run this time. I packed everything into a safe. Hid the flash drive where he'd never find it. Then I turned on my camera and told my story. Unfiltered. Unedited. Raw. I said his name. I named the other victims. I listed every date, every detail, every scar I could remember. I showed the proof. I looked into the lens and said, "If anything happens to me, this is who did it. And this time, you won't be able to bury me." We uploaded it to 3 clouds. 2 hard drives. 1 public link, time to go out if I miss check-ins. For the first time in my life, I wasn't scared of Jason. He should have been scared of me. The video went live at 6:42 a.m. By 7:13, it had 32 views. By 9 a.m., the diner manager pulled me aside with wide eyes and a trembling voice. "Is this real?" she whispered, holding up her phone. I nodded. That's when everything changed. People say silence is protection. But the truth is, silence is a prison. And the second I opened my mouth, that prison shattered. By noon, the video had reached over 9,000 views. By nightfall, Channel 4 News called my burner. The reporter sounded cautious. We're doing a story on women coming forward. Your name's come up multiple times. Would you talk to us? And I said the one word I never thought I'd have the courage to say. Yes. I wasn't the only one anymore. Within 24 hours, 5 more women had contacted the reporter. Some used fake names. Some whispered their stories into voicemail boxes, scared their voices might be traced. But they all said the same thing. Jason Carter ruined my life. And then someone leaked the court papers from Melissa's file. That's when hell broke loose. Jason's law firm issued a public denial. His assistants were instructed not to answer any calls about false allegations. His lawyer called my story an emotional breakdown broadcasted for sympathy. But people weren't buying it anymore. Because the video wasn't emotional chaos. It was cold. Controlled. Documented. It had dates. Receipts. Footage. Patterns. Names. And every time he denied it, someone else stepped forward. On day 3, I walked outside the diner during my break, and a woman hugged me. Tight. No words. Just tears. She didn't need to say anything. I knew why. We all knew someone like Jason. Some of us just didn't live to talk about it. But not everyone was happy. Jason's people came after me. Threats. DMs, private numbers calling every hour. Someone posted my motel location online. Ben moved me that night. Said, they're desperate. That means we're close. And then it happened. The break. One of Jason's junior employees, a scared, shaky 23-year-old intern, leaked a hard drive to the press. On it? Audio files. Dozens of them. Jason talking to women. Threatening them. Bragging about shutting them up. One recording even caught him saying, "She can go public if she wants." No one believes emotional women. They fall apart eventually. I just have to wait. That was it. The police couldn't ignore us anymore. Subpoenas were issued. His house was searched. His office raided. He tried to run. Too late. They caught him at a private airstrip, holding a briefcase with 2 fake passports and $80,000 in cash. Suddenly, everyone remembered Melissa Taylor. And the case was reopened. But do you want to know the sickest part? Even as they dragged him away in cuffs, he smiled. Looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You'll regret this. You'll always love me." But he was wrong. I didn't love him. I didn't fear him. I survived him. The trial is still ahead. So are the headlines. The media storms. The trolls and the lawyers and the whispers. But I'm ready. Because I know now, it wasn't my shame. It was his. And every time someone watches that video. Every time a woman whispers, "Me too." Every time someone looks at me not with pity, but respect. I feel stronger. This isn't the end of the story. This is the start of something bigger. Because monsters like him don't hide under beds anymore. They wear suits. Smile wide. Shake hands in boardrooms. But we see them now. And we're not quiet anymore. I took the stand in a navy dress borrowed from Ben's sister. The courtroom was packed. Cameras lined the back wall. Melissa's mother sat in the front row, clutching her daughter's bracelet. Jason sat across from me, shackled, still smug. But that smile faded the moment I said, "My name is Rachel Carter. And I am here today to speak the truth, even if my voice shakes." They asked me about everything. The bruises. The threats. The silence. The fear. But I didn't cry. Not because it didn't hurt, but because the world needed to see what surviving looked like. I looked him in the eye and told the jury. He didn't break me. He tried. Over and over. But I'm still here. And I'll keep speaking for every woman who never got the chance. Then, it was the prosecution's turn. They played the tapes. Jason's voice, laughing. Mocking. Saying things like, "They're just broken little dolls. And I like them that way." The jury flinched. A woman in the back sobbed. Jason's attorney asked for a recess. The judge said, "Denied. Proceed." Melissa's case came next. That's when her mother finally stood. She pulled out her daughter's journal. The one she'd hidden in a box for 5 years. And she read one line aloud. "If anything happens to me, it was Jason." The room froze. Even the stenographer stopped typing. Jason turned pale. Sweating. Furious. His lawyer whispered something, but Jason lost control. He stood up mid-trial and yelled, "You're all lying. They're just bitter exes. They wanted me." The judge slammed the gavel. "Mr. Carter, sit down or I'll have you removed." But he kept going. "You think I'm the only one? You think I'm the villain? You women ruin men and then act innocent." Security pulled him back. The jury watched in disgust. And in that moment, the world saw the real Jason Carter. Verdict day. 10 days of testimony. Dozens of witnesses. 200 hours of footage. And then the foreman stood. On all counts, guilty. 16 charges. 25 years without parole. But the victory wasn't in the sentencing. It was what happened after. I walked outside the courthouse and a group of women were waiting. Some were survivors. Some were advocates. Some were strangers who just believed me. One little girl, maybe 12, walked up and said, "My mom said you saved lives." I think that's true. I broke down. Right there on the courthouse steps. Because finally, after everything, the truth won. Jason's arrest sparked a movement. Melissa's law was passed 6 months later, expanding protections for domestic abuse survivors and reopening cold cases flagged by anonymous tips. They named the bill after her. And they invited me to the signing. Ben held my hand the whole time. "We're not married. Not yet. I'm not rushing love again. But I am healing. Slowly. Loudly. Proudly. I sleep through the night now. I don't flinch when the phone rings. I smile without feeling guilty. And sometimes, I visit Melissa's grave. I sit down with flowers, and I talk to her. Tell her about the movement. The law. The change. And I promise her. You were right. He didn't deserve to walk free. But because of you, he won't walk again. My name is Rachel Carter. I was the perfect wife to a perfect monster. But I found my voice. And the moment I did, I set us both free. But now I ask you. If someone looks perfect on the outside, how far would you go to find out who they really are behind closed doors?